Many foods seniors refrigerate lose flavor, nutrients, texture, and even safety. Tomatoes, bread, potatoes, garlic, onions, coffee, bananas, honey, and olive oil all suffer when chilled. These changes affect digestion and health but are preventable. Store these foods at room temperature and use your refrigerator only for what truly belongs there. It starts with a simple mistake, a routine habit millions of seniors make every single day. A tomato placed in the refrigerator, a potato shoved into the cold drawer, a loaf of bread stored next to the milk. These choices seem harmless, ordinary, almost automatic, but hidden beneath these everyday actions is a surprising truth. According to the USDA, over 40% of food stored improperly loses nutritional value, and some foods become harder to digest as they change texture in cold environments. Yet most seniors never realize how much health, money, and nutrition they lose simply by keeping the wrong foods cold. This script uncovers why 9 common foods should never be refrigerated, and what you discover may change the way you store food for the rest of your life. You might think refrigeration protects everything, but science tells a very different story. For example, studies from the University of California show that tomatoes placed below 50 degrees Fahrenheit lose up to 65% of their flavor compounds due to enzyme suppression. Seniors who already struggle with reduced taste sensitivity, something that affects nearly 74% of adults over 60, end up eating bland, nutrient-weakened meals. That loss of flavor isn't just disappointing. It can lead to reduced appetite and unintentional weight loss, a known risk factor in aging. But tomatoes are only the beginning. Bread is another silent victim of the refrigerator. Many seniors refrigerate bread to keep it fresh longer, but according to the Journal of Food Science, bread stales 6 times faster in the fridge due to starch retrogradation. This chemical process causes bread to harden, lose moisture, and develop textures that can be difficult for older adults to chew, especially those with dentures or swallowing difficulties. Keeping bread at room temperature in sealed packaging actually preserves softness and freshness far better. But bread isn't the only staple seniors are storing incorrectly without realizing the consequences. Take potatoes. Simple, familiar, comforting. But when potatoes are refrigerated, their starches convert into sugar at an accelerated rate. The UK Food Standards Agency reports that these sugars may form acrylamide, a chemical linked to higher cancer risk when cooked at high temperatures. For seniors whose immune systems naturally weaken with age, avoiding unnecessary carcinogenic exposure, storing potatoes in a cool, dark pantry, not the fridge, reduces acrylamide formation and keeps them fresher longer. But potatoes are just one of the 9 foods that drastically change when introduced to cold air. Garlic behaves strangely in the refrigerator. Cold temperatures trigger premature sprouting, and studies show sprouted garlic loses its firmness, increases bitterness, and loses up to 30% of its beneficial allicin, the compound known for supporting blood pressure and immune function. Since allicin is especially important for seniors, in one study from Advances in Therapy, daily garlic consumption reduced systolic blood pressure by up to 10 millimeters of mercury. Storing garlic correctly is essential. A dry, well-ventilated basket keeps garlic potent and nutritious. Yet many people unknowingly rob garlic of its health benefits by refrigerating it. Even onions suffer inside the refrigerator. Research from the National Onion Association shows that cold, humid air causes onions to soften, become mold-prone, and absorb odors from nearby foods. Seniors often note strange smells or unexpected sweetness in their meals without realizing refrigerated onions are the cause. At room temperature, onions maintain their texture, flavor, and nutrients far longer. But onions also carry a hidden risk when stored next to certain foods, a risk most households are unaware of. Coffee grounds, yes, even they are victims of cold storage. Many people freeze or refrigerate coffee thinking it stays fresh, but scientific testing shows coffee absorbs moisture and odors extremely easily, even in sealed bags. This leads to taste degradation and fungal contamination in some cases. Seniors who drink coffee daily for alertness, especially since caffeine is shown in psychopharmacology research to improve reaction time in adults over 60 by up to 13%, may be unknowingly consuming stale or spoiled grounds. Keeping coffee in airtight containers at room temperature preserves antioxidants and flavor far better. And yet, coffee is still far from the most surprising item on this list. Honey is another misunderstood food. Many seniors refrigerate honey because they worry it might spoil. But honey is one of the only foods on Earth that never expires due to its low moisture content. In fact, the Smithsonian reports archaeologists found edible honey in ancient Egyptian tombs over 3,000 years old. Refrigeration causes honey to crystallize quickly, turning thick, gritty, and difficult to spoon or spread, especially problematic for seniors with arthritis. Keeping honey in a sealed jar at room temperature maintains its smooth texture for years. But honey isn't the only food seniors store improperly due to misunderstood safety rules. Olive oil suffers too. When refrigerated, it solidifies into a cloudy, waxy consistency. Harvard Health notes that olive oil, when stored properly, supports heart health, a major concern for older adults since heart disease causes 1 in every 4 senior deaths. Cold temperatures damage its delicate polyphenols and antioxidants, reducing its anti-inflammatory benefits by up to 20%. Keeping olive oil in a dark room temperature cabinet preserves its heart-protective nutrients. But there is one final food that almost no one expects to avoid refrigerating. Yet, the science is shocking. Refrigerating bananas slows ripening, but also damages their cell walls, turning the skin black while the inside loses texture and nutritional quality. Bananas. According to the International Banana Association, cold storage reduces vitamin C by up to 40% in just a few days. Since vitamin C deficiency affects nearly 20% of seniors, preserving this essential nutrient matters. Bananas belong on the counter, where they ripen naturally and maintain their health benefits. And now that you've met all 9 foods, the deeper truth begins to unfold. Because improper refrigeration affects far more than flavor or texture. In the end, the message is simple, but profoundly important. For millions of seniors around the world, the refrigerator has always been a symbol of safety, preservation, and trust. Yet science shows that some foods, common, familiar, everyday foods, lose their flavor, their nutrients, their texture, and sometimes even their safety the moment they enter the cold. Tomatoes forget their sweetness. Bread stiffens. Potatoes turn toxic. Garlic weakens. Onions soften. Coffee spoils. Bananas bruise. Honey crystallizes. Olive oil loses the very antioxidants that protect the aging heart. These are not small changes. They are slow, silent transformations that affect health, digestion, appetite, and overall well-being. For seniors, whose bodies require more nutrient-dense foods, not less, every lost vitamin, every damaged antioxidant, every altered texture matters. Because eating well is not just habit, it is healing, it is strength, it is longevity. But the most empowering truth is this: every one of these problems is preventable by simply knowing which foods belong on the counter instead of the refrigerator. Seniors can preserve up to 30% more nutrients, maintain safer kitchen habits, and experience food the way nature intended it to taste. These 9 foods, when stored correctly, last longer, nourish deeper, and support healthier aging. And so, as you walk back into your kitchen tonight, pause for a moment. Look at the refrigerator, not as the place where everything must go, but as a tool meant for the right foods, not all foods. Choose where each item belongs with intention, with confidence, and with the knowledge you now carry. Because the smallest change, a basket for potatoes, a jar for honey, a shelf for tomatoes, can protect your health in ways you may never fully see, but will always feel. Your kitchen is not just where meals are made. It's where health begins. And now, with the power of information, it's where it can be protected.